Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our community webinar for the ClearSAR-Track1 challenge. We are already a little bit into the challenge. We're on the final sprint line, let's say, and with this webinar, we want to give you the opportunity again to get a bit on track in case you need a little nudge into the right direction regarding the data and the data sets, and then also give you the opportunity for an open Q&A event at the end of this webinar. So any questions that you still have left, we try to answer today. And if we are not able to answer it right away in the webinar, of course, we will collect the questions and bring it to the rest of the team after. So maybe some of you already know me from past webinars, have seen me in the past, and already this slide, I want to quickly introduce the phyLab challenges. At the phyLab challenges, we aim at strengthening the synergy between the global AI and Earth observation communities through the organization of public challenges. As you may know, the ESA phyLab is kind of the innovation lab to anything that is related to Earth observation. So if you look for newest innovation in Earth observation at ESA, the phyLab is where it's at. At the phyLab challenges, we want to organize cutting-edge challenges merging both AI and Earth observation. With the ClearSAR-Track1 challenge, we're hosting our 11th challenge in this long-going series, and our challenges span different topics from urban city planning to disaster relief to emergency management. We try to tap in as many areas and fields as possible. We try to build a global AI and EO community. For us, it's always important to highlight that we want to reach a global audience, not just here in Europe, but globally. So we're very happy to have attracted quite a lot of participants from around the world. For these challenges, we want to provide you with world-class curated data and tools from our partners, and I'm very happy to have some partners from KP Labs and Variance Labs today here with me in the webinar. And together we want you to thrive in your skills and also offer you some visibility in the participation of these challenges. Maybe just a few words about the team behind these challenges. Not everybody is here today, and I would also like to say that the 6 people that you see here are only a fraction of the team behind the challenges. I cannot stress enough the importance of the team behind these challenges and everybody who makes this a success and realizes this. But today, I'm very happy to welcome Jakub, Bartosz, and Tadej with me on stage. And I would maybe give the floor first to Tadej. Tadej, if you would like to say a few words about yourself and introduce you.
Yeah, so hi, welcome to this webinar. My name is Tadej Tomanic. I'm a data scientist at BV Labs from Slovenia, and I'm happy to give you answers on any questions you might have together with the other panelists.
Thank you very much, Tadej. Very happy to have you here. Bartosz, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, so hello guys, I'm Bartosz. I'm a machine learning engineer at KP Labs, and for this challenge specifically, I was responsible for preparing the dataset and also preparing the starter pack Jupyter notebook. So, hello.
Thank you very much, Bartosz. And lastly, Jakub.
Hey everyone, so my background is AI as well, and I'm trying to bridge the scientific, academia and industrial worlds all together. I can see that Roberto actually joined as well. Roberto, you're with us?
Yes. Good morning, Roberto. Can you hear us? I think there are some small technical difficulties, but maybe we'll have the chance at a later date. So Roberto Del Prete, who is an internal research fellow at the ESA phyLab, also played a key role in the preparation of the data and the data sets of this challenge. So also here, thank you again. From my side, I'm the project manager behind the phyLab challenges. I'm a senior consultant for Nova Space and part of the consortium that is implementing the phyLab challenges for the ESA FELAB. Again, there is a bigger team behind this challenge. Not everybody could join today, but thank you at this point to everybody who makes this a challenge bring into reality. Let's have a quick look at what we want to show you today. So first, we want to start with a quick challenge introduction, and then Jakub is going to give you a complete data walkthrough. So we will gonna learn about the data again. We'll give you a little nudge into the right direction if you need a little restart. And then at the end, we will have a live Q&A. We aim to be finished latest by 11 today, because of course we know that you're also busy. But with that being said, I would give it to the challenge introduction. And with that, Jakub, I would give the floor to you.
Cool, thank you. So I'll try to give you a bit more of a context why we are tackling that and why is it important to tackle this RFI detection problem that we are targeting in the challenge. And as you know, we are in the Earth observation task where we want to observe our planet and to perhaps understand things that are happening on the ground, right? And we are always interested in capturing data, no matter what kind of a weather or daylight we have. And in this challenge, you have this opportunity to work with the SAR data, the radar data. But on the one hand, it's nice because it might operate in different weather conditions, for instance. But on the other hand, it also operates in the shared frequency bands, meaning that the data that is being captured might be contaminated by different artifacts. And one of those is radio frequency interference, RFI, which we are looking at in this particular challenge. So you might imagine that if you capture lots of data using, for instance, the Copernicus program within the Sentinel-1 satellite, you want to put in place the quality assurance as well. So you need to have this quality control that would tell you whether the data that you're capturing is of high or low quality, or perhaps you want to analyze that or not. Because if you have the data which is of low quality, it would affect your downstream task as well, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to extract some insights from the raw data that you're capturing in orbit, and then maybe take some action on the ground. So in this challenge, you're interested in finding the artifacts, which are the RFI artifacts, again, radio frequency interference artifacts, and then locate them within an image. So this is the main task, which might be deployed in, for instance, quality control of Copernicus, which is a huge program, and this is also of huge importance. And for the radar data, for the SAR data, you might operate on different levels of this data, meaning that if you get into the higher level, you have more, sort of pre-processing steps, and the data looks a bit differently. As for this challenge, we operate on level 2 data. So I'm pretty positive that all of you already know what this data looks like, but this is level 2 data. You operate on sort of RGB images. And this is track 1, right? And if we have track 1, perhaps something is going to happen quite soon. But as for now, we are focusing on track 1 here.
Don't spoil too much yet.
Yeah. Right, so maybe the next one. We are in, this challenge has been happening for a while already. We launched this late February. Now it's 10 of April. And you still have some time to contribute to this challenge because this is be closing on May 13th. And this is strict closing date because of other things, and those other things are related to the ICIP conference. So this is this IEEE ICIP 2026 conference where you submit the extended abstracts concerning your solutions that you're using within the challenge. And this is also important because to be ranked in the final ranking, you need to do that. And this is where important deadlines come into play. So the ICIP is the first important thing to remember, May 13th. And then what is super important in pretty much all the challenges that we co-organize is that we want to ensure that your things are reproducible. because in the state of the art, we've been observing that this is not trivial to reproduce things, and to tackle this reproducibility crisis within the field, we ensure that all of your algorithms need to be reproducible by us, right? So we have this time slot starting 20th of May till the end of June, where we have this reproducibility check, where you submit your solutions, we reproduce and we verify whether we have the very same outcomes compared to what you submitted during the challenge. Super important because this is something that you need to do to be ranked in the final ranking. And then we have a bunch of other deadlines which are related to the ICIP conference as well. Because at the end of the day, we would announce the winners of the challenge during the ICIP conference in Finland. This is be happening in September this year. Right, so I think that concerns the deadlines, unless Dennis, you wish to add anything.
Maybe just two things. So first of all, of course, your participation at the ICIP is, of course, a great opportunity. Not only the monetary prize that might be interesting for you, but also the visibility that you can gain if you achieve one of the three top places in this competition. You have the possibility to speak in front of an expert audience and present your solution. This might be a little motivation boost as well. And just another quick word about the 13th of May. We will close the submission system at a given date. The exact timing is on the rules page. Please note that after the system has been closed, it is closed, and it will not be able or not be possible to upload any other solutions, and we cannot accept any manual submissions that you send, for example, by email. So please make sure to read the rules page, be familiar with the timing, and also submit, of course, on time. That would be it.
Yep, cool. Dennis already touched on the prizes, so this is not only monetary. You might also you'll have the invitation to Esrin in Frascati, Italy. Super nice place. I've been there multiple times, so I won't, I think it's a great opportunity to see in practice where Earth observation happens in the real world. And on top of that, as Dennis mentioned, we have this ICIP conference, which is a pretty nice image analysis conference. So we'd have this visibility. And as for the other challenges, we would organize the joint bigger journal paper that we will write with you with the top performers, and then we'll include the details of your algorithms and also the insights from the challenge as well. So this is to be submitted to a nice journal. So monetary prizes, diplomas, then visibility, and the paper are the main prizes that you are after.
Yes, and maybe just quickly for your participation in September for the ICIP, the three winning teams are also reimbursed up to 500 euros per team. So if you would like to attend the event in person, then of course we will support you in your travels and arrangements in this case.
Cool. Maybe jumping to the next one. Right, so we are getting into the data set, and again, I'm pretty positive that you've already seen that, but we are working with the AI-ready dataset, meaning that we have the dataset that is already prepared for you. This is split within a couple of subsets, so you have the training set together with the ground truth labels, and those labels are of high quality. So you might assume that this ground truth is nicely done. Obviously, there might be some, small errors, but overall the quality of the ground truth is high. And then on the other hand, you have the test set, which does not contain any ground truth information, obviously, right? So this is where your algorithms would be verified in terms of generalizing overdancing data. What is nice about this data set, it is that it's very heterogeneous, as you can see from the spatial distribution of the samples that you have included in the training and test subsets. They are pretty much from all parts of the world, which is quite unique for math observation, that you might verify your techniques and methods over very diverse and heterogeneous data. And you have more than 3,000 of images in the training set, and then you have almost 800 in the test set. In the next slide, we'll see that the results that you observe in the leaderboard are calculated for the validation set. So jumping to the next slide, you'll see that 50% of the test images are included in the validation set, right? So you don't know which are in the validation set, but what you see on the leaderboard are the results for those 50% of test images. Meaning that after we have closed this challenge, we would recalculate the metrics that would allow us to have the final ranking. It is something that will be revealed during the ICIP conference, so you would not know the final ranking before that. And what you know for now is that you see the results over just a sample from the entire test set. And this is something that might be interesting afterwards to see whether the ranking would change after closing the challenge and recalculating your solutions. Okay, so maybe straight to the next one. A few words on the layout of the dataset, which might be downlinked from this QR code. So this is the platform where you can access the dataset once you're registered with the challenge. And the layout is very easy. So first you have the starter pack, and we'll go through the starter pack in a second. But second, you have the dataset, which is again split into the training and test subsets. Again, you don't know which test images are the validation images, but you know for sure that you do not have any ground truth information for the test set, right? So you have the training and testing images, all are PNG files. And then you have the annotations file containing the ground truth for the training set. On top of that, you have the starter pack, as I just mentioned. So the layout is super easy. And then in the next slide, we will see the starter pack. And this is again split into a couple of subpaths, basically driving you through the entire process of building a valid solution, right? So you start from, we actually start from the introduction to the dataset. Then we show you how to download this data and what is actually within this data. You might visualize some examples from the dataset that you would download. You see one example of the visualization of one image from the dataset. So basically, you have the step-by-step instruction how to downlink and then display your images contained within this dataset. So after this short, quick exploratory analysis, in the next slide, we'll see a couple of steps that are also included for you in the starter pack. And this is related directly to data processing, right? So you as for now, you know that your task is to detect and locate RFI artifacts. So this is basically the object detection and localization problem. And then you have a couple of steps that you might perform for an example object detector that we included in this starter pack. So you have this entire training process visible here, or maybe not visible because it's pretty small, but you have those parts of the notebook that would guide you through the entire process of training and then testing your trained solution. So it might be, for instance, the one that we have included for you in the starter pack. In the next slide, you will also see that we have included the metrics that we are interested in. This is just one metric that you would see in the leaderboard. Having just one number would allow us to, sort the best participants pretty easily. And also it's, I think, easy for you to interpret this metric. So this is a very classic metric used in pretty much all the object detection problems, which is mean average precision. And also you have the example on how to calculate this metric within the starter pack. So you have pretty much all of that within your reach and in the notebook, easily accessible for you. And again, obviously, if you have this mean average precision, you want to maximize that. And if you're getting close to 1, you're very close to the grand truth delineation that we have in the validation or test set, right? So you want to maximize this metric. This is just one metric calculated in a way you see on this slide, and also you can easily track within your notebook. So pretty easy. Take the data, maximize the metric, and you're good. And yeah, so jumping to a couple of examples from the training set, you might observe that here are just 4 examples of the images that are included in the training set together with the ground truth annotations, right? So the annotations are the bounding boxes. You might have more than one bounding box within an image from the training set, obviously. And obviously they are also heterogeneous in terms of the size and the localization. So you cannot assume anything about the ground truth features or characteristics. What you can assume is that those are bounding boxes, and there might be many of them. And just looking at the images using the naked eye, you can observe some stripes and different things within the image. But again, we are after having this RFI artifacts. So this is what you're searching for. You might see some weird things within an image, but those are not RFI, right? And in this challenge, you're interested in RFI detection. This is why you have those bounding boxes annotated. So this is your training set. Jumping to the zoom part of one of the image. In the next slide, we'll see that again, the number of and the size of the bounding boxes are pretty different, right? So even within one image, you may have very heterogeneous set of different bounding boxes annotating the RFIs contained within this particular scene. And obviously the scene and the areas that are being imaged are diverse as well, because as you remember from the map, we have a very high diversity in terms of the localization around the globe. So this is training. In the next slide, you'll see testing. So pretty much the same thing without annotations, right? So your task is to take those images without any ground truth, run your algorithm, run your object detect technique, and then annotate those using the format that you also have provided in the starter pack. Pretty easy, right? So you train, you validate over the test set, you report boxes, and the challenge, obviously. Right. So jumping to the next one, I think we're nearing the end of my part.
Yes, we're. Thank you very much, Jakub, for this great walkthrough. And I hope, of course, if any participants had some questions or some last uncertainties regarding the data set, that they are now cleared. If this is not the case, we can jump to our next part, which is the live Q&A. And here I would just like to say a few things in the beginning. So we have a Q&A panel built into Zoom that you can use. So if you look on, I think the bottom side of the screen it is, for the Q&A panel, you can open it and ask any questions that you might have. These answers are anonymously posted if you would like to some extent. I think I can also unmute participants if you would like to say it verbally. Please also be aware, not all our experts are here today. So for example, for more technical questions when it comes to the EUTDL data repository or regarding the platform. In this case, we would of course collect questions, get them to our experts, and then come back to you as quick as possible. We, for example, also saw that I think this morning it was we got a new question in our forum, so we'll come back to this forum, of course, as quick as possible. If you have any questions later after this webinar, you can always reach out to us by hello@ai4eo.eu or by using the built-in forum option from our platform. But with that, I would like to open the floor. So if there are any questions, please feel free to put them into the Q&A section. Please, not the general chat, but the Q&A section. Maybe just a bit background info. I'm working on one screen, so I have to see how I fit everything onto one screen. But let's see. And of course, if there are no questions, that is also great. That means that hopefully we have been clear in the past and during this webinar. But let's see, I don't also see any questions in the chat. And to be honest, it seems like we don't have any open questions. So I think Jakub, Tadej, Bartosz, you made a great job of not only making it very clear from the very start, but Jakub also, again, you made a very great job of making clear again how to work with the data set, where to find everything in the starter book. There's one question. Hello, how will the code be reproduced by the challenge managers? So I think that's a very good question for you, Jakub.
Yeah, indeed, very good question. So after closing the challenge, we would contact top 10-ish teams and would ask you to provide us with the code, right? So this might be the Jupyter notebook or the code of your choice, depending on the technology that you use. And on our side, we'll have to rerun your code and obtain pretty much the same outcomes that you submitted to the challenge. So it might happen that it will not be that easy to reproduce your code, and if we have any issues, we would reach out back to you to see how to resolve that. But this is a super important part of the challenge, to make sure that on our side we can just take your code, rerun, and obtain the outcomes that you submitted. So
Thank you very much.
This human in the loop interaction with you.
Yes, and I think yes, thank you is the answer. So I think the answer has been clear. Thank you very much, Jakub. Maybe also just a few words about your submission. Of course, you hold ownership of anything that you produce, also within this challenge. However, of course, please note that at phyLab Challenges, we want to promote open access, open use. So, of course, we would ask you to be a little bit more, let's say, flexible and liberal about the codes that you produce. But of course, at the end of the day, you are the owner of your solutions. Okay, I think, of course, please don't be shy. Of course, if you are a little bit shy and you wouldn't like to write us today, again, hello@ai4eo.eu, or using the forum function, you can ask us anything in the future. But I think, again, Jakub, Tadej, Bartosz, you have made such a clear approach that for the first time ever in these webinars, we only have one question. So great job here. And with that, we actually come to our end of the webinar. Maybe just a very last comment, because Jakub, you already talked a little bit about it. Why track 1? I mean, what is the... Could there be, let's just say for now, we cannot be too specific, but you might want to stay tuned, and maybe if there's a track 1, who knows what comes next, the track 15 or something. Let's see. With that, thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Of course, very much a big thank you to my panelists, Tadej, Bartosz, and especially also to you, Jakub, for the great data walkthrough. And then, of course, also to all the participants who have joined us today. Again, hello@ai4eo.eu for any remaining questions or the forum. And with that, thank you very much for joining, and good luck with the rest of the challenge. 13th of May, pay attention to the closing date and the closing timing, and be on time. And other than that, good luck and see you soon.
Yep, good luck, guys. Have fun.
Thank you.
Good luck, and we're looking forward to your solutions.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.